Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. No, your eyes are not deceiving you tonight. I know I've said in the past that I won't stream Arkham Horror the card game on the channel, but I think I've got a way that I can stream it. I definitely won't stream it cards and dice, that's for sure. But there is a way that I think I can stream it. So let's move over and I'll show you how I can do that, how I think I can do that. So I've got Tabletop Simulator up here with an Arkham Horror card game mod on here that we're going to test out here. And just like the intro says, we're actually going to venture into a very difficult scenario. So I've heard it said before that Where the Gods Dwell is just completely unwinnable for a two-person team. So I wanted to kill two birds with one stone. I wanted to satisfy my own curiosity on that front, but on the same token, I wanted to do a little bit of stream testing for potentially putting Arkham Horror the card game as part of streaming. So I think we'll do that. And we'll go ahead and meet the ladies tonight. We are taking out the Girls of the Fall. For those of you who are wondering who the Girls of the Fall are, I am, of course, talking about the two supercharged investigators that have gone through two fall campaigns with me on the channel. First up, we'll meet the monster puncher of the campaign in Jacqueline Fine the Psychic. She's a mystic, of course. And these are the same decks that I finished Return to Path to Carcosa with, which was last year's fall campaign. So let's take a look at Miss Jacqueline. 5 will, 3 lore, 2 combat, and 2 agility. Her special ability: when an investigator at your location would reveal any number of chaos tokens, reveal 2 additional. Of the 2 revealed tokens, choose and cancel 2 non-tentacle tokens or the tentacle. Limit once per test. The Elder Sign effect is +1. If this effect is cancelled or ignored, draw 1 card. The future, can be rewritten. 6 health, 9 sanity. We'll take a look at her backstory as well. Blood, fire, destruction. Every night, Jacqueline's dreams are filled with things that have not yet come to pass. At first, she thought of these dreams as a terrible curse. However, as she began to control her visions and observe the events within in greater detail, she now understands they are no curse, but a calling. The world is about to be plunged into 1,000 years of indescribable chaos, and only she knows the warning signs. Her dreams have never been wrong, but she cannot let the nightmares that haunt them become reality. And then, as we saw with her deck building requirements, deck size 30, deck building options, mystic cards 0 to 5, neutral 0 to 5. Requirements that don't count toward deck size: Arbiter of Fates, Dark Future, 1 random basic weakness. So let's go through her signature cards. First up, we've got a signature asset, Arbiter of Fates. 3 costs to play, will, agility, wildcard on commit. Jacqueline Fine deck only. Reaction ability, which is what that little swirly is. When you use Jacqueline's reaction ability, Exhaust Arbiter of Fates, this use of her ability does not count toward its limit. I can see the threads. I know when they will snap. Her weakness deals with her, potentially counteracts her, and it's Dark Future. Revelation: put Dark Future into play in your threat area. You can't cancel or ignore any symbols. Forced: at the end of your turn, reveal 5 random tokens from the Chaos Bag. If an Elder Sign is among them, discard Dark Future. So we definitely want to be mindful of her personal weakness. We'll give the deck a quick shuffle. And then we'll go meet the Monster Puncher. And I think I forgot to set this up. Oh no! It actually set up for 2 investigators, so that's perfect. We'll move Jacqueline up to our starting location, which I believe, yes, is the Plateau of Lang. Yep, okay. So we're all set there. I know there's the D12 I spawned later. I'll explain where that's coming in later. But for now, let's go ahead and meet the Seeker of the Girls of the Fall, Mandy Thompson, the Researcher. 3 will, 5 lore, 1 combat, 3 agility. Reaction: when an investigator at your location would search their deck or the encounter deck, They may either search 3 additional cards or resolve 1 additional target of the search. Limit once per round. Elder Sign effect is +0. Search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and either draw it or commit it to this test if able. Shuffle your deck. 6 health, 8 sanity, and one other thing I need to check. That's got 5 skills. We'll shuffle those. That's her... what is that? That's her Ancestral Knowledge. Okay. So let's go through her personal cards. First up, we've got a signature event in Occult Evidence. 0 cost to play, wild card on commit. Mandy Thompson deck only. Shuffle Occult Evidence into your deck. When you search your deck and Occult Evidence is among the searched cards, reveal it. Draw it and discover 1 clue at your location. Max 1 research ability per search. Unfortunately, her personal weakness also deals with search. In Shocking Discovery. Revelation, shuffle Shocking Discovery back into your deck. If you can't, discard it and draw the top card of the encounter deck instead. Forced. When you search your deck and this card is among the searched cards, discard it. Cancel the search and all of its effects. Shuffle the searched deck, draw the top card of the encounter deck. And that brings me to one of the allies in her deck, in Research Librarian. 2 cost to play, agility on commit. Reaction ability. After Research Librarian enters play, search your deck for a tome asset and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. There is an interaction between Research Librarian and Shocking Discovery, where if Research Librarian comes into play while Shocking Discovery is among the deck, then you actually have to take Shocking Discovery from the search. You don't get the tome that you are after, which could be a good thing if we're able to play Research Librarian early and get that out of the deck right away. Then get Shocking Discovery out right away. So I'll move that into Mandy's deck as well. And we'll give this a shuffle. I am going to be playing this on standalone difficulty. The deck has already been pre-built for me. Mandy will go join Jacqueline up at the Plateau of Lang. And in order to set the scene, we are going to punt this over to Phoenix Knight from the past once I get everything queued up on my phone. Let's see. Dream Eaters. The investigators travel to the Cold Wastes, so we check the campaign log. Since the investigators travel to the Cold Wastes, we go to Intro 2. Here we are. Phoenix Knight from the past. Take it away.
Scenario 4A, where the gods...
Nope.
Intro 1. Intro 2.
There we go.
The white ship sails effortlessly through the aether. Along the way, it passes under archways of woven shadow, over cerulean seas that glimmer in the moonlight, and through vast swaths of dense mist. Eventually, you reach a continent far to the north, where even your intrepid captain never ventured. Colossal creatures dwell in the deep, dark ocean, a terrible danger to any ship that dares the dreadful seas. The captain moors the flying ship over a desolate landscape of ice and snow. Several moonbeams emerge from the ship's white hull, forming a gangway to the tundra below. In the distance, through a haze of snowflakes, you can barely make out the shape of a domed building. "Welcome to the accursed Plateau of Lang," the elderly captain says with a hint of regret in his voice. "You will find no joy or peace here, only death. Please, I must implore you once more to forsake this quest and return to fairer lands. Are you sure this is where you would like to disembark?" You nod. The captain sighs in reply. "I see. The white ship shall sail no more to this forsaken place, for it shakes me to my core. You are on your own from here. I bid you farewell and good luck, fellow traveler." You cross over bright, vivid moonbeams down onto the bleak expanse below. You will find and scale the peaks of unknown Kadath, or you will die trying. Proceed to setup.
Fortunately, the mod has already done setup for us, so we are all ready to go. I'll give the encounter deck a shuffle as well. And then we've got our scenario card, which we can see here. I'll make a copy of this. Actually, I didn't even see there was a button for copy to player mats, and hey, look at that. That's actually pretty darn slick. I really like having that. So when I'm down for a test, I can just go right to the scenario card and see what I'm looking at. Just making sure I've got everything else sorted out there. Mandy's got her 2 charismas. Okay. Now, we'll go through the agenda and act decks. First up, Agenda 1. Agenda 1A, the Eye of Chaos. I see you there, playing with fate like it is all some sort of game. Did you really think you could escape my grasp? What makes you think you are the one in control? 7 Doom to advance that, and Act 1A, Journey Through the Cold Wastes. You have come to the land of Lang, a barren, icy wasteland, where you believe the peak of unknown Kadath resides. All the while, a presence taunts you, gnawing at your insides. It is a wordless, derisive voice that you cannot hear, but feel within the confines of your mind. 2 Doom, aka 4 to advance. Two clues per investigator, I should say. I'm going to loosen that so it's ready to go when I need it. Then tapping back down, we'll come down to our starting location, Plateau of Lang. The icy desert Plateau of Lang, which no healthy folk visit and whose evil fires are seen at night from afar. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. That flips into Shroud of 3, 2 clues. Forced. When an enemy attempts to spawn at an empty location and there are no empty locations in play, spawn that enemy here instead. Alright, we'll give both of our ladies' decks a shuffle up. And we'll draw opening hands. Let's see, I think I want the hands to go back here. No. 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll draw Mandy's hand. There we go. Take a look at both of our ladies' starting hands. Okay. Well, let me look at Jacqueline's hand. Jacqueline's hand... Word of Command can go get basically anything I might need. But I think I'm going to throw the Medicio della Peste back. Once I'm satisfied with the hand, we'll go through opening hands. Definitely do not want that. Alright, I'm not totally thrilled with that, but it's a hand, I guess. Alright, looking at Mandy. Don't think we want... No, I don't think I want the You Handle This One or the Strange Solution yet. Definitely don't want that. Okay, I think I'm a lot happier with this card, with this hand. Alright, so let's take a look at our ladies' opening hands. Starting off for Jacqueline, we've got Word of Command level 2. 2 cost to play. Name a spell card. Search your deck for 1 copy of the named card and draw it. Shuffle your deck. Then we've got a Word of Protection level 2. Play when an investigator at any location draws a non-weakness treachery card. Cancel that card's revelation effect, then take 1 horror. Then we've got Lady Esprit, 4 dangerous Bokor. 4 cost to play. I haven't been paying attention to commits. Ward of Protection is a wild card on commit. Lady Esprit is a will lore wild card. As an action, we can exhaust her and deal her 1 horror to heal 2 damage from or gain 2 resources. Any investigator at Lady Esprit's location may activate this ability. Then we've got a Spectral Razor. 2 cost to play, will, combat on commit. Fight plus will for the attack. Immediately before the attack, you may engage the attacked enemy. The attack deals +1 damage, +2 instead if the enemy is non-elite. And Arcane Initiate. After it enters play, either place a Doom or 2 Horror. As a fast action, we can exhaust the Arcane Initiate to search the top 3 cards of your deck for a spell and draw it, then shuffle. As for Mandy, she's got Janae Beauregard, 5 cost to play, lore, agility on commit, +1 of each. During your turn, after you move to a location, exhaust Janae Beauregard, Move a clue or a non-elite enemy from a connecting location to your location or vice versa. 2 and 2. Ooh, I just thought of something we could do with that. Then we've got 2 copies of Eureka. Will, Lore, Agility on Commit. If the skill test is successful, the investigator performing the test searches the top 3 cards of her deck for a card, draws, and shuffles. Then we've got Burning the Midnight Oil. When this action begins, gain 2 resources. And Dream Diary, Dreams of an Explorer. 2 costs to play, Will, Agility on Commit. You can only include this asset in your deck by upgrading it from Dream Diary untranslated, and only if You Have Interpreted the Dreams is in your campaign log. While you're at a location with at least 4 Shroud, your Essence of the Dream gains 2 wild cards. Fast action when your turn begins, search your bonded cards for Essence of the Dream and add it to your hand. Takes up a hand slot. We won't go through the Essence of the Dream until we actually pull it into our hand. With that, I think we are all set to go, so Jacqueline is our lead investigator, so we'll give her the first action. So action 1, she's going to play out the aforementioned Arcane Initiate, which I will put... do I want the Doom or the 2 Horror? I think I'd rather have the 2 Horror Honor. And I don't think it's going to let me get rid of the... There we go. I'll then exhaust the Arcane Initiate to search the top 3 of her deck for a spell, and I'm immediately happy with the first option I see. And it's the only one I can take, so I'll take Shriveling level 5. We'll give that a shuffle. Then for action 2, I will spend the 3 resources to play out Shriveling level 5. Uses 4 charges, Will, 2 combat on commit. Action, spend a charge to fight using Will instead of combat. Plus 3 Will and deal plus 2 damage for the attack. But if you pull a bad symbol, take 2 horror. That's action 2. And for action 3, Jacqueline will investigate at even. Actually, Mandy's going to give her a Eureka to put her up 1. And I'm going to throw Jacqueline's ability behind this. So we'll pull 3 tokens from the bag. And cancel 2 of them unless one of them is the tentacle. So 1, 2, 3. So I will cancel the -3. Actually, she would have failed anyway. Let's see what the skull is. -X, where X is the... Actually, no. If we cancel the -2 and the -3, the skull will actually let her pass because the current act is 1. So Jacqueline will pass that. She'll get a clue off the location, which I will... Not the location, Phoenix. We want the clue, one of the clues off the location. There we go. I will put that down over here, which tracks that. Jacqueline gets a clue, and then she will search the top 3 of her deck for a spell and draw it. So Eureka's gone. Actually, she searches the top 3 for a card. I'm going to let her go... I'm going to let her go 6 deep. So we'll flip over 6 cards. Dark Future, do not want. Key of Yiz is interesting. Drawn to the Flame is a might want. Arcane Studies. Lost Soul also do not want. Not in Mandy's hand. And Arbiter of Fates. So Dark Future I definitely don't want. Actually, let's... Anything I definitely don't want, I'm going to flip down. Lost Soul I also don't want. Arcane Studies I don't think I want either, so I'm down between Drawn to the Flame, Arbiter of Fates, and Key of Yiz. Looking at each of these, I think I want... Arbiter of Fates just on general principle. So we'll add that to Jacqueline's hand. Shuffle her deck. And then Jacqueline will be done. Mandy, for action 1, she's actually going to spend her 5 resources to play out Janae Beauregard. Which will bump those up. So 6 and 4. Action 2, Mandy will burn the Midnight Oil to gain 2 resources and investigate. She's up 3. That's a skull, which, as we saw earlier, is a -1. So Mandy will get the clue back. Mandy will get the clue, which already brings us up to 2 clues. And for action 3, she's going to move down to the Cold Wastes. So we'll take our first look at the Cold Waste. Then came a wide gap in the range, where the hideous reaches of transmontane Leng were joined to the Cold Waste on this side by a low pass through which the stars shone wanly. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. And that will flip into the Cold Waste, Shroud of 2 clues. As an action, forced, after you reveal a symbol a bad symbol while investigating the Cold Waste, you must either take a damage or lose an action. And I don't know what is going on with my stream tonight with all these dropped frames. But that will do it for Mandy. That will do it for the investigation phase. We blow through the enemy phase because there are no enemies in play. So now we'll do upkeep. And that is pretty slick too. Mandy will find in the know. Jacqueline will gain the Chthonian Stone. We'll hover over that for a second. And hovering over in the know as well for Mandy. Okay. Going into the Mythos phase, we'll put our first Doom up on the agenda. Then we'll come over to Jacqueline to draw. Liar with No Face, which spawns with Jacqueline. 3/4/3 Monster Cultist Servitor. Hunter. Forced, when Liar with No Face attacks you, if Whispering Chaos is in your hand, reveal it. Liar with No Face deals +2 damage for the attack, and 2 horror on attack. Mandy will draw. Abandoned by the Gods, Peril. Revelation test Will 3. For each point you fail by, you must choose a different number between 0 and 4. Each player must discard each event and asset from their hand with a printed resource cost equal to any of the chosen numbers. Mandy right now is at even. She will commit Eureka to go up 1. Rune is -4, so Mandy fails, which means we have to choose. So I think we'll go with, let's go with 0, 1, and 3. So Mandy loses an in the know. So 0, 1, and 3, which unfortunately costs Jacqueline the Arbiter of Fates. And that's it. That's the worst thing that actually... Nope, she was all clear. So that actually ripped Mandy's hand pretty well apart. I'm not happy at all to see Jacqueline's Arbiter of Fates go away. But that will do it for the... Actually, before we leave the Mythos phase, Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate to search the top 3, which actually these should have gone back in. So hold on a second. All right, now Jacqueline will search the top 3 for a spell, which she does not find. And I will mention as well, in case you're unclear on the interaction, if an investigator has a signature weakness as being a spell, and they reveal it with Arcane Initiate, and that turns out to be the only spell, the investigator would have to take it. Mandy will exhaust Ancestral Knowledge to draw a skill from under that. She will find Momentum. Okay, we'll hover over that for a second, and then we're back into a new investigation phase. So Jacqueline's got to deal with this Liar with No Face. She'll start off for action 1 by using a charge of Shriveling. She'll start off by using a charge of Shriveling to try to shrivel that. So she's a 5, plus 3 from Shriveling's an 8. To a 3, she's up 5. I'm not going to put her ability behind this yet. That's the Elder Sign, which as we see is +1. If the effect is cancelled or ignored, draw a card. So the Liar with No Face will take 3 damage. Then for action 2, we'll use another charge of Shriveling, and this time I will throw Jacqueline's ability behind it so I make sure I kill it. She's up 5. 1, 2, 3. I'll cancel the Skull and the -3, revealing the -1. And the Liar with No Face will go 2 to Lou. That's discarded. And then action 3, Jacqueline will move down to the Cold Waste, and that will do it for her turn. As for Mandy, for action 1, she is going to investigate. She's up 4. Skull is once again a -1, so we'll get the clue there. Action 2, she'll run the investigate back. +1 gives her the clue, which now we have enough to advance, but I'm not going to advance yet because because there's no timing restriction, and I do want to wait on when I advance because I want to make sure I've got a full round of actions. I don't want to advance with just one action left. Action 3, with that in mind, is going to be to draw a card. Okay, I'm very happy to see that. That will do it for Mandy. That'll do it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, Jacqueline, of course, killed our only enemy in play, so that brings us into the upkeep phase. Ooh, I am very happy to see that ally for Jacqueline. That'll probably be her, assuming nothing goes crazy, that will probably be Jacqueline's first order of business. We'll hover over Jacqueline's homegirl, Twilla. So you guys can see what she does. I'll actually go through her completely when I play her. As for Mandy, I do not like that card at all. Mythos phase, we'll put our second Doom up, and Jacqueline will draw. Restless Journey, oh delightful. Peril Hidden, Revelation, secretly add this card to your hand. She can't commit more than one card to skill tests each round. As a fast action, discard Restless Journey and test Lore 3. If you fail, place a Doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. So that is in Jacqueline's hand. And then Mandy will draw. Law of Igoroth, oh joy. Secretly add this card to your hand. Can't commit cards to skill tests with an odd number of total skill icons. As an action, discard a player card with an even number of total skill icons. Discard this card from your hand. Okay. So we got a couple of laws that we ended up with. Not that big a problem, I don't think. So now we are going to spend the clues to advance the agenda. Or to advance the act. This is a fast action window and we're going to be busy during this. So now we are advancing the act. Alright. Traversing, okay, the monastery. Traversing the wastes of Leng is no easy task. The cold bites at your skin and the bitter winds lash against your face. Even if you encounter no nameless monsters, the land itself may still yet claim your life. You try desperately to stay warm, but there is no refuge in the icy desolation. Exhausted, you collapse into a nearby snowdrift. To your surprise, you feel hard stone thrust into your ribcage. The pain shocks you out of your enervation, and you brush aside the snow to examine what it hides. Eventually, you uncover a curious stone idol in the shape of a horned creature, which glows and vibrates with faint energy. In the distance, you hear a stone slab shifting in the snow. Reveal the Monastery of Leng. Set aside the High Priest not to be described enemy in the Monastery of Leng. Alright, so we'll flip over the Monastery of Leng. Oop. There we go. Shroud of 3, 4 clues. As a fast action, investigators at Monastery of Leng spend 1 per investigator clues as a group. Remember that the investigators maneuvered the priest closer. A great domed space whose walls were carved in shocking bas-reliefs, and whose center held a gaping circular pit surrounded by 6 malignly stained stone altars in a ring. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Then we have to spawn the high priest not to be described. Alright, so he's at the Monastery of Leng. 5, 3 per investigator, 3, aka 6. Alert, massive, retaliate. If this enemy is exhausted, spend 1 per investigator clues. Remember that you stunned the priest. Until the end of the scenario, this enemy gets -3 fight. You shudder to think just what this aberrant priest might be beneath its robes. Victory 2, 1 and 1. Okay then, so let's go through Act 2. Act 2A, The Thing in the Robes. Inside the domed structure is a raised dais. Upon it sits a lumpish figure robed in yellow silk, a mask covering its face. My master has plans for you, it drawls. Now, step forward and receive my gift. You shake your head. You have seen this sort of disguise before. You know what sort of creature this priest truly is. As an action, if an investigator maneuvered the priest closer and an investigator stunned the priest, defeat the high priest not to be described. Objective, if the high priest not to be described as defeated, advance. Okay, so that's what we're up against here. So now Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate to go for another spell. Okay, and the only spell we've got available to us is Spectral Razor, so Jacqueline will take that. And then Mandy will exhaust Ancestral Knowledge to grab a skill, which is Quick Thinking. Okay. I think Mandy will go first this time. Action 1, she will move into the Monastery of Lang. And then what do I want to do with Janae? Do I want to move a clue to a connecting location? Or do I want to move a clue or a non-elite enemy to my connecting location? Basically, do I want to move a clue back to Jacqueline? I think the answer to that is... Yes, I will move a clue. Actually... We need the clues, but I think Mandy is our best investigator to get them. Unfortunately, she will take... Oh no, this enemy can't make attacks of opportunity, so no, I'm not going to move a clue back to Jacqueline. I'll just plan on using... Let's see, that's discard a player card with even icons. So... For action 2... I will discard Dream Diary, which has even cards, to discard Law of Igoroth. And then for action 3, Mandy will investigate. She's up 3. And she gets Tentacle touched. Up. Right, it's right click again, left click again to send him back. Okay, that's unfortunate, but that will do it for Mandy. Jacqueline will spend 3 resources to play Homegirl Twilla out. I'll put her over here since I do have Charisma. So let's take a look at Twilla Catherine Price, Lost in a Dream. 3 cost to play, Lore, Agility on Commit. Fast action, after you spend 1 or more charges from a spell asset, exhaust Twilla, place 1 charge on that asset. Sometimes, this world, I wish I never came back. A little depressing there. Action 2... Jacqueline will move into the Plateau of Lang. And then action 3, I'm going to shortcut this and just exhaust Twilla to keep a charge on Shriveling. Technically, we'd take the charge off, then we'd exhaust Twilla to put the charge back on. I'm going to shortcut it by saying exhaust Twilla to keep a charge on Shriveling. Like I said, we get to the same place either way that we do that. So, with that in mind... Jacqueline is attacking the High Priest not to be described. She's at an 8 to 5. She's up 3, and I'm going to throw her special ability behind this. 1, 2, 3. Oh joy, we get all the symbols. Let's see, so which one hurts us the least? I think the one that hurts us the least is the skull. So Jacqueline will end up taking 2 horror, but the -2 on the current act is not enough to fail us, so the High Priest not to be described will take 2 damage, and I'll just use that. Actually, the High Priest, I believe, takes 3 damage, because it's level 5, so we're already halfway home against the High Priest not to be described. Unfortunately, that will do it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, the High Priest not to be described will attack both of us for 1 and 1, and then we'll do upkeep. Jacqueline will find the Enchanted Bow, which is very helpful there. Mandy, let's see what she finds. She'll find Occult Evidence, which I'm not as happy to see. And then as a let's wait on that. Third Doom going up on the agenda. Jacqueline will then draw. Deep Slumber. Put Deeper Slumber into play in your threat area. Max hand size is reduced by 3 and is checked after each time you draw 1 or more cards. That's fun. Speaking of hand size, Jacqueline was fine. Mandy draws. Whispers of Hypnos. Oh joy. Choose a skill. Lore, combat, agility, or, well, any skill. For the remainder of the round, each investigator gets -2 to the chosen skill. You can't choose a skill that has already been chosen by a copy of this effect this round. No god or daemon could have aspired to discoveries and conquest like those in which we planned in Whispers. H.P. Lovecraft, Hypnos. I'm impairing combat, because neither of these two do diddly squat with combat. So I will make a note in chat, mostly so I can remember. So this will be, so I want to make sure I keep, like I said, I want to make sure I keep this straight. So this is Whispers and Hypnos round 3, combat. Okay, that's just help me keep that straight. Then as a fast action, Jacqueline is going to discard Restless Fallacy and test Lore 3. She's even, and I'm not going to commit to it. That's a -1, so we fail, which will put a Doom on the agenda. We're at 4 right now, but I'm not really feeling like we're in any kind of hurry right now. So, coming back to our turn, Jacqueline is going to, for action 1, Jacqueline is going to exhaust Twilla to keep a charge on Shriveling to try to finish off the High Priest not to be described. And she's going to put her special ability behind this. She's at an 8 to 5. She's up 3. And we're pulling 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. So we do have to cancel the Tentacle, but we get to reveal the Elder Sign and the -2, which nets out to a -1, which means we have defeated the High Priest not to be named, so we will advance. So he will move to the victory display. And we will advance Act 2A, the Thing in the Robes. Alright, if we defeated the High Priest, not to be described with damage, which we did, read the following. As you strike it down, the creature spits foul curses at you in tongues that can scarcely be described. Its last breath is filled with hate. And no matter how it was defeated, we get to read the following. With the monster dispatched, you can explore its monastery in relative peace. Among the ruined walls of the stone building, tapestries depict the history of this land, a history of blood and suffering that you have no desire to remember when this is all said and done. Great snow-capped peaks loom over each of these scenes. In just one of them, a castle is woven in black thread. And we'll go through Act 3, Beyond Dreams. You believe that Kadath is the highest peak far to the north, but in order to open the gates leading to that forsaken land, you must prove that it exists. If each investigator is at the Onyx gates and no clues are on it, advance. And then for actions 2 and 3, I think Jacqueline will go ahead and discard Deeper Slumber, because I don't want her hand size being cut down to 3 cards, or cut down to 5 cards. So that will do it for Jacqueline. Mandy is going to move action 1 over to the Cold Wastes. And Janae would let her move from a connecting to her location or vice versa, but I'm not going to do that. Action 2, she is going to investigate the location, and I have a reason for doing this. I'm going to commit quick thinking to the test, so Mandy will be up 5 trying to get an extra action out of this. That's an Elder Sign, which is a +0. I can search the top 3 cards of my deck for a card and either draw it or commit it to this test if able. So let's see what I've got here. Your Worst Nightmare, do not want. Survey the area, or Shocking Discovery. So I actually have to take Shocking Discovery. I don't get anything else out of the search. And then Mandy draws the top card of the encounter deck, which is the Liar with No Face. Oh, delightful. Okay, so we get the So we actually discard Unspeakable Oath Curiosity. Admittedly, since I'm only playing this standalone, I don't necessarily need to care about that too much, but it's just an extra hidden card taking up a hand slot. But I do get the extra action with Quick Thinking, which I will use to try to evade the liar with no face. I'm at a 4 right now. I'll commit Momentum to go up 2. Momentum says if the skill test is successful, reduce the difficulty of the next skill test I perform this phase by X, where X is the amount I succeeded by, to a max of 3. You've never been content with a safe route. Mandy is up... Let's see, that's a 4. 5. Mandy's up 2. Rune says -4, so we are still engaged with the liar with no face, which is unfortunate. Mandy will actually exhaust Ancestral Knowledge to draw another skill. She'll find another copy of Momentum, which she'll commit both Occult Evidence and Momentum to go up. Actually, no, I don't want to commit Momentum here. But I will commit Occult Evidence to go up 2. Actually, yeah. Elder Sign is the search that we had earlier. So we'll do a search. So we've got Empirical Hypothesis, Strange Solution, or you handle this one. I can either draw it or commit it. I'm going to take Strange Solution. Yeah. Which passes the test mostly so Mandy doesn't take another 2 horror on that. So that will do it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, Mandy managed to exhaust the liar with no face. Unfortunately, he will come right back. And actually, before we head into the upkeep phase, Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate for a spell. And Jacqueline will find a Ward of Protection. Unfortunately, we are going to have to discard. But we'll head into upkeep phase. Jacqueline finds a very welcome draw into the flames, and she'll say goodbye to Lady Esprit. As for Mandy, she will find a Through the Gates. Oh, joy. Revelation, draw the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, remove it from the game. Then search your discard pile, deck, hand, and all play areas for each other copy of that card and remove them from the game as well. So the top card of her deck is Mob Enforcer. So if it's not a weakness... Oh, we draw the top card of the deck, so now Mandy's got friends. Oh, delightful. And I know what Mandy's saying right now. Help! Well, let's see what happens here. So Doom goes up to 5. Jacqueline will draw. Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy, which the liar with no face is a cultist. What fun. So we place 2 Doom on the liar with no face, which means we're advancing next turn unless we can kill the liar with no face. Mandy will draw an Acolyte. Fantastic. We'll put him at the Onyx Castle. Wonderful. Okay. Leaving the Mythos phase, Jacqueline will start off by exhausting the Arcane Initiate for a spell. I know what spell I want here. Where in the world is my Storm of Spirits? There is no way I built a Mystic deck without having Storm of Spirits in it. Why can Jacqueline not find it? Oop. I do have a Word of Command that can go get it, but I won't have the resources if I go get it. Mandy will exhaust that for a skill. She will be surveying the area. Right. So. What to do with Jacqueline? I think action 1. I think action 1 for Jacqueline will be to draw a card, and actually, Man in the Pallid Mask. Technically, the campaign would be over, so I'm going to put that to the side, and Jacqueline will draw again. Reading some signs, that's welcome, but not for what I want here. Action 2, she'll move over to the Cold Wastes with Mandy. And action 3, she will... What do I want to do here? I wanted to find a Storm of Spirits, but unfortunately Jacqueline's all seem to be near the bottom of the deck. So I think we are going to... Unfortunately, Mandy is going to take it. If I try to play the Strange Solution, Mandy is going to take an attack of opportunity. Do I just Ghost Knife the... I'm going to have to Ghost Knife something. I'm going to have to try to kill something here, most likely. So, Jacqueline's through 2 actions. I think third action is going to be to exhaust Twila to keep a charge on Shriveling, aiming at the Liar with no face. And I'm going to throw Jacqueline's ability behind this as well. She's an 8 to a 3. Jacqueline is up 5. All symbols again. Jacqueline taking another 2 horror. But she'll reveal a skull, which is a -3, which fortunately is still enough to pass her, so the Liar with no face will take 3 damage. Unfortunately, that will do it for Jacqueline's turn. As for Mandy, she's going to parlay to get rid of the Mob Enforcer. Then for action 2... she's going to commit Survey the Area. Occult Evidence was a commit. While Survey the Area is in your hand or committed to a skill test, it gains lore icons equal to your agility and agility equal to your lore. They won't believe you if you don't capture it on film. Hell, they probably still won't believe you. Alright, that is going to leave it with Jacqueline, but... Actually, that's going to leave the Liar with no face with Jacqueline, but... So she's at a 4 right now. Plus 6 is 10. She's up 7. Rune is -4, so she will pass that. That will be evaded to make friends with Jacqueline in the next... To make friends with Jacqueline on the next upkeep phase. And then action 3, Mandy is going to move down to the Onyx Waste, or the Onyx Gates. Where they dwelt... There must the cold waste lie close, and within it unknown Kadath and its Onyx Castle for the Great Ones. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Flips into Shroud of 1, also known as 3, plus, because of the +1 Shroud, 12 clues. After the Onyx Gates is revealed, check the campaign log. Remove 1 clue from Onyx Gates for each tally mark recorded next to Evidence of Kadath. As you approach the gates, you notice an inscription in the onyx stone. Do not seek the lands beneath, for they do not exist. These gates shall never open, for there is nothing beyond. With these 2 ladies, I can't swallow the idea willingly that way that they would have discovered nothing on the way. So I've got a D12 here that I'm going to roll, and that many is how many we're going to consider being the evidence of Kadath. 8 signs of Kadath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know in standalone mode it technically says no tally marks recorded next to unknown Kadath. But like I said, with these 2 ladies, I can't swallow that idea. But we've actually got a little bit of a cheese here, because after we move to a location we can exhaust Janae to move a clue or a non-elite enemy from a connecting location to your location or vice versa. So I'm going to move one of these clues from the Onyx Gates into the Onyx Castle. And that will do it for Mandy. That will do it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, the Liar with no face is exhausted. He'll be making friends with Jacqueline in the upkeep phase. As we find an occult theory for Jacqueline. Liar with no face comes and makes friends with Jacqueline. Okay, and then Mandy will do upkeep as well. She will find your worst nightmare. Oh, fantastic. Mandy's got a friend as well. Jacqueline is at hand size, so she will discard the Chthonian Stone. Alright, Whispers of Hypnos was discarded last round. We'll go up to We'll put a Doom on the agenda, but we'll reset that. And we'll take... Okay, so now we are advancing the agenda. Right. Do not try to run now. You are mine in the mire of dreams. You will never, ever, ever wake up. If it's Act 4, it's not. Agenda 2A, the shape of chaos. Why do you fight? Why do you flee? I am your future. I am your fate. Another mask for my collection. Another corpse for me to wear. 5 Doom to advance that. And then Jacqueline draws. Wizard of the Order, spawn at any empty location with Retaliate. At the end of the Mythos phase, we'll place 1 Doom on him. Mandy will draw. Abandoned by the Gods. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Mandy is going to commit momentum to go up 1 on the test. That's a rune, so we fail once again by 4. By 3, I should say. So we're going to choose... 0, 3, and 4. Each asset and event. 0, 3, and 4, which loses Jacqueline a Drawn to the Flame and an enchanted bow. That could have been a whole lot worse. Alright, and then Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate to look for the top 3 cards for a spell. The Black Book, Emergency Cache. Where are my Storm of Spirits? Seriously. Good grief. Well, fortunately for us, Jacqueline will go first. Action 1, she'll exhaust Twilla, keeping a charge on Shriveling, and I'll throw her special ability behind it. Once again, Jacqueline is an 8 to a 3. She's up 5, revealing 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is more like it. I can actually take a break from taking a million horror. So Jacqueline will cancel the rune and the -2, revealing the 0, and the liar with no face will immediately get bent. Action 2, Jacqueline will move down to the Onyx Gates. And then action 3, Jacqueline is going to try her hand at reading some signs. Investigating plus will for the investigation. You may ignore any effect or keyword on your location which would trigger during the investigation. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location. A grisly future is laid before you. Do you turn away, or do you embrace it? Alright, Jacqueline is a 5, 8 to 3. She's up 5. That's a -4, which is not enough to fail her, so Jacqueline will get 2 clues. Alright, and that will do it for Jacqueline. Mandy is going to try to evade for action 1, Your Worst Nightmare. She's up 2, and Jacqueline is not going to commit. So up 2. Skull is actually a -3 right now, so we will fail. Action 3, Mandy will try that again. Rune is even worse. And then action 3, she'll run it back. Rune again. Enemy phase, Mandy will take 2 horror. I forgot to put the Doom up on the Wizard of the Order. And then the Acolyte wiped, and we'll do upkeep. Jacqueline now with an internal injury. Place it into play in your threat area. Forced at the end of your turn, take 1 direct damage. 2 actions to discard it. Mandy... Oop. Don't need to be pulling tokens yet. Let's do upkeep for Mandy. Finds Dr. Milan. He's a little bit late to the party. 4 cost to play, lore on commit. +1 lore, and after you successfully investigate, gain a resource. Mythos phase, we put our first Doom up on the agenda. Jacqueline will draw. Law of Igoroth Chaos. We can't play cards or trigger abilities on player cards with an odd printed resource cost. Discard a player card with an even printed resource cost from your hand. Discard this card. Which basically shuts Twila off. I'll have to actually... I could cancel that, and I think I will. So I'll spend a resource to play a Ward of Protection, because I don't particularly want to deal with that. And then Jacqueline will take a Horror. Mandy will draw another Acolyte, which will put him up at the Monastery of Lang. Right. Jacqueline's first order of business with Action 1 in the investigation phase, going to be exhaust Twila to keep a charge on Shriveling, aiming at your worst nightmare. And I'm going to put Jacqueline's ability behind this because friendly fire is a thing in this game. So we'll draw 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we'll cancel the Elder Sign and the -2 because remember, with the Elder Sign, I want to cancel that for the card draw. So your worst nightmare is defeated. Jacqueline will get to draw a card. Power Word, okay. Oh shoot! I couldn't exhaust Twila. Actually, no. I canceled that card. Never mind. We're all clear there. All right. Then Jacqueline. Let's look at the Onyx Castle because I think there's something relevant to our current situation there. The Onyx Castle says the way to the Onyx Castle is hidden. You can't enter the Onyx Castle. No man has ever found Kadath in the past, and it might be just as well as if none ever found it in the future. Such rumors as were told about that Onyx Castle of the Great Ones were not by any means reassuring. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Let's see. Does Jacqueline try to investigate at even? Actually, she's going to be at more than even. Well, now our hands are free, and I think this advances when there are no clues at the Onyx Gates. So I think Jacqueline will take 2 actions to discard Internal Injury, because I don't want to start taking damage like crazy. Mandy... I could cheese this out and have her move back to the Cold Wastes, pull the clue back, and then move back. But I think we're just going to use an action to investigate, since Mandy is up 3. Mandy would be up 3. Actually, let's exhaust Ancestral Knowledge to draw a skill. See what we get. We get another Quick Thinking. Let's actually spend 4 resources to play out Milan. And we'll zoom in on Milan. While I truly pray that this nightmare is just a singular abomination, I must admit that I am exhilarated by the possibility that this is but one specimen of a new genus. That brings Mandy up to a base lore of 7, which she'll use to investigate up 4. And I will commit Quick Thinking to the test to go up. Actually, I think I want that later. We'll go up 4. And we get Tentacle Touched because of course we do. Action 3, we'll run it back. We'll shuffle up the bag. Alright, running that back, up 4. Rune is -4, so we do pass the test, which will give us a clue back, a resource, and we get to advance the act since we're at the Onyx Gates and there are no clues there. Where the Gods Dwell. Each investigator loses all of their clues. Read the scenario Interlude, Grand Design, in the campaign guide. Then advance to Act 4A, Truth and Lies. Alright, so Interlude 4A. Grand Design. And once again, we'll kick that over to Phoenix Knight from the past. Let's see. It should be in here somewhere. I thought I had it... recorded here. 4A... Oh, here we go.
Scenario Interlude, Grand Design. Read this interlude only when you are instructed to do so. Grand Design 1. Higher and higher, you scale the mountains far to the north. Pale light shines from atop a great black peak piercing the vibrant firmament, and you know that you approach the end of your quest. You spend untold hours ascending the snow-covered slopes until finally you reach the forbidden steps leading to the castle's great hall. The castle stands astride a precipice that overlooks the entire continent and the ocean beyond. It is a majestic sight. Above, countless tenebrous towers loom, swathed in a vortex of snow and hail. You break a trail through the crusted snow before the castle, and it soon gives way to smooth, polished onyx. The biting wind quiets to a whistle. You are bathed in a prodigious darkness that fills the vast space. Soon there is nothing but the echoing of your footsteps on the onyx floor, and the quiet, lonely stillness of the great hall. Though you have crossed no doorway, you realize now where you stand, inside the halls of the Great Ones. You expected to be met by guards, servants of the gods, or perhaps even those powerful beings themselves, but you are met only by loneliness and foreboding as chilling and piercing as the winds outside. You continue forward until at last you reach the end of the hall. Here, flanked by smooth onyx pillars, you find nothing. There are no gods here. The place is long abandoned. Virgil is agape. I don't understand. Reveal the Onyx Castle and place each investigator in the Great Hall on its revealed side.
Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of setup here. So I want to move, so we're going to have to move things around a little bit here. So I'm going to bring this down here. We're not still at the Cold Waste, I'm just moving things around here. The Onyx Castle is going to go all the way up here. Mandy and Jacqueline are going to end up there. And here we'll find a Shroud of 3, no clues. Action, choose another investigator at your location. Add a hidden card in your hand to the chosen investigator's hand. Save for that one tower atop the Onyx Castle. Atop Kadath was dark, and the Masters were not there. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Remove... Okay, let's let Phoenix Knight from the past take it away once again.
Remove each location other than the Great Hall from the game. Check the campaign log. If Randolph survived the voyage, proceed to Grand Design 2. If Randolph did not survive the voyage, skip to Grand Design 3.
Randolph, according to the notes for standalone mode, did survive the voyage. We'll do that. We'll look into that order of business here in a second. I'm just getting some of these tokens out of the way. And it's not letting me get rid of all of those. I have to get rid of them one at a time. It looks like that's annoying. Okay, so you wanted me to remove each location other than the Great Hall from the game. So I'm working on that now, which should send all of the enemies to the discard pile, the encounter deck discard pile. Okay, so they're there, and then we proceed to interlude to Grand Design 2, since Randolph did survive the voyage.
Grand Design 2. You turn to Randolph for answers. He has been your guide through all of this madness. Surely he will know what is going on. Finally, he says, gazing upon the hall with wide eyes, we have reached the halls of the Great Ones, upon whom it is unlawful for mortals to look. We knew it was forbidden, yet here we are, our quest complete. He turns to Virgil. Was it worth it, sir? Have you found the evidence you seek? Virgil takes a step back. What are you on about, Randolph? Was this not your idea? You were the one who led us on this quest to begin with. Randolph smiles and places a hand on Virgil's shoulder. Yes, I am. But I am not Randolph Carter. He pulls back his other arm and, before you can react, drives a razor-sharp blade of onyx through Virgil Gray's chest. Virgil's corpse slides to the polished floor, eyes forever frozen in tragic shock. The being that was never Randolph Carter turns toward you, its shadow shifting into myriad shapes as it stretches across the ground. Behold, its many voices growl, your just reward! If an investigator's deck contains Randolph Carter, Expert Dreamer, the Dream Eater's card number 59, remove him from that deck for the remainder of the campaign. Check campaign log. If the Black Cat is at your side, skip to Grand Design 4. Otherwise, skip to Grand Design 5.
From our notes for standalone mode, the Black Cat is not at our side. So we'll move to Grand Design 5.
Grand Design 5. The crawling chaos splits into 100,000 shadows and vanishes into the cold, dank air. Randomly choose 1 + 1 per investigator copies of the set-aside Nyarlathotep enemy without looking at them, and shuffle them into the encounter deck. Remove each other copy of Nyarlathotep from the game.
Okay, I'm going to go through these one at a time. So I'm dealing with the copies of Nyarlathotep right now. So 1, 2, and 3. Those get shuffled in. Okay, continue.
Shuffle the set-aside Crawling Mist and each set-aside copy of Myriad Forms and Whispering Chaos into the encounter deck, along with the encounter discard pile. Shuffle the set-aside Forsaken...
You zip it right now. So we want the Crawling Mist and each copy of Whispering Chaos and Myriad Forms. And those go in along with the discard pile, it said. Fun. Alright, so the encounter deck is all shuffled. Those can go away. And we'll shuffle the
power locations and choose 4 at random to put into play. These locations should surround the Great Hall, one in each of the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. Until the end of the scenario, each Forsaken Tower is referred to by its position relative to the Great Hall as follows. The location above the Great Hall is called the Northern Tower. The location to the right of the Great Hall is called the Eastern Tower. The location below the Great Hall is called the Southern Tower. The location to the left of the Great Hall is called the Western Tower.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. So I've got our 4 Forsaken Tower locations set up. We'll take a look at the unrevealed side real quick because these will all be the same. Vast walls shot up, and there was a glimpse of a great gate through which the Voyagers were swept. All was night in the Titan courtyard. And then came the deeper blackness of inmost things as a huge arched portal engulfed the column. H.P. Lovecraft, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. And that will be the same for each of the Forsaken Tower locations. So we are all set there. Mandy had no actions left. That essentially wiped the board. So enemy phase, we don't have any enemies in play right now, which means we'll do upkeep. Okay, Jacqueline will find to read the signs. Mandy will find... And burning the midnight oil. Okay, I'm very happy. I'm quite happy with that. All right, Doom goes up to 2 on the agenda. Jacqueline draws her bad card. And we've got Abandoned by the Gods. She's testing... It's her turn to make this will test. Jacqueline is up 2. And I think that's where she'll test. Skull is... Skull, I think, is -4. Yep. We'll go through the act in a second, but that's a -4. Jacqueline fails by 1. She's going to choose 0, which won't affect our hand at all. So we're all clear there. Mandy's card. Let's see what we've got here. We've got Restless Journey Hardship. Peril Hidden. You can't commit more than 1 card to skill tests each round. Discard Restless Journey and test Combat 3. If you fail, Doom on the agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. So for those of you who are relatively new to the game, let me explain what that second clause is. That clause is known as the Ancient Evils clause, about the effect can cause the current agenda to advance. So what's happening here is normally you would check the Doom threshold at the start of the Mythos phase, but if it's got that, and any additional Doom that comes out after wouldn't cause the agenda to advance. So let's say we've got 2 Doom out right now, and the agenda took 3 to advance. If an Acolyte came out, put another Doom out, there would be enough Doom to advance, but you wouldn't check that until the start of the Mythos phase. But if you draw an encounter card for some reason, like you say you play a Drawn to the Flame into that same situation. 2 Doom on the agenda, you need 3 to advance, and you pull an Ancient Evils with that Doom can cause the current agenda to advance clause, that would cause the agenda to advance. I'm very shocked that Ancient Evils is not in this encounter, so I could actually have it come up and explain it better. But looks like we don't have anything there. So, first order of business, Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate for 3 spells. 1, 2, 3. The only thing we can take is the Enchanted Bow, so Jacqueline will take that. Mandy will... Actually, she doesn't have any more skills for Ancestral Knowledge. So let's go through our new act. Act 4A. Truth and Lies. Beware, for I am the one who has trapped you here, and you shall never leave. Your dreams are forever mine. As an action, spend a clue, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Draw each of those cards with a hidden keyword, and discard the rest. Objective. Find and expose Nyarlathotep's true form by adding copies of Nyarlathotep to the victory display. If 1+1 per investigator copies, aka 3 in this case, are in the victory display, advance. Okay, so we've got 4 towers to explore, and I think for the investigation phase, we'll send Jacqueline to do exactly that. She'll move over to the eastern tower, and we'll find that we can't use the location's action ability unless another card explicitly allows us to do so. Forsaken Tower of Infinite Truth. Shroud of 2 clues. Evade. Choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep from your hand and attempt to evade it as if it were at your location, using lore instead of agility. Instead, if you succeed, add that copy of Nyarlathotep to the victory display. If you fail, Nyarlathotep attacks you and is shuffled into the encounter deck. Alright, then for action 2, Jacqueline will read some signs. She is, once again, at 8 to 2. She's up 6. And we're going to throw her ability behind this. 1, 2, 3. We'll cancel the Cultist and the Elder Sign, revealing the 0, which will give her the 2 clues and a card draw. So Jacqueline should have lost these 2 clues, and Mandy should have lost this one. Alright, then Jacqueline will draw a card. Where was that like 2 turns ago, Storm of Spirits? Where was that when we had all of our enemies out? Jacqueline will then spend a clue to, look at the top 3 of the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3. And we get hidden. So nothing there is hidden. Nope. Okay. So those all get discarded. Those can get removed from the game. And that will do it for Jacqueline. Actually, Jacqueline has 1 more action left. She'll spend her other clue to do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, nothing there, which is very annoying. But we're at least getting deeper into the encounter deck. So that will do it for Jacqueline. Mandy's actually going to investigate right here. She's at a 7 to 3. She's up 4. That's a 0, so she will get the clue off of there, which she'll immediately spend to look at the top 3 of the encounter deck. I'll get her resource from Milan in a second. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now we can activate... So now Mandy's got 2 of the Whispering Chaos cards. But now we need to find Nyarlathotep. Alright, and action 3... She will move up to the northern tower. Shroud of 5, 2 clues. Once again, no, you can't use the card, can't use the ability here unless the card allows you to do so. Action here is to investigate. Choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep from your hand. For this investigation, this location's shroud is equal to Nyarlathotep's printed health. If you succeed, add that copy of Nyarlathotep to the victory display. If you fail, Nyarlathotep attacks you and is shuffled into the encounter deck. Okay, that's not that great. And actually, we can exhaust Janae to move a clue down to the Great Hall. This is going to get a little bit cheesy, but that will do it for... I want to make sure we don't have... Okay, we can't commit more than one card. Okay. So that will do it. That was an investigate, a move... Actually, wait a second. We had our investigate, a move, and Mandy for action 3 is going to burn some midnight oil, gaining 2 resources, and she's up 2 on the location. That is a Shroud 7, though. She's going to commit quick thinking to go up 3. -1 means she gets the clue and has an additional action as if it were her turn, which she'll spend to go another 3 deep in the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3. So now that's Whispering Chaos North, which means now Mandy could use the... Actually, could we have committed both of those cards? Yes, we could have, because we can only commit... Can't commit more than 1 card, and we only committed 1. So the 2 liars with no face go away. Alright, that's it for Mandy. That's it for the investigation phase. No enemies in play, so we do upkeep. Alright, we've got the Cyclopean Hammer for Jacqueline. 5 cost to play. 2 will, 2 combat on commit. Action to fight, adding your will to your skill value for the attack, deal +1 damage. If you succeed and the enemy is non-elite, you may move it 1 location away. If you succeed by 3 or more, instead deal +2 damage and may move the enemy up to 2 locations away from you. I think we're going to discard Power Word here, because it's probably not that useful, especially with the number of enemies that we've pulled. Mandy will do upkeep as well. She draws her empirical hypothesis. Forced at the start of the round, choose one of the following criteria. Fail by 2 or more, fail a test by 2 or more, succeed by 3 or more, take damage or horror, discard a treachery or an enemy, or enter a location with 3 or more shroud. When the chosen criteria is met, you may exhaust empirical hypothesis to add an evidence to it. Action, spend an evidence to draw a card. Alright, Mythos phase, we go up to our 3rd Doom in play. Jacqueline draws. Deeper Slumber again. We saw this earlier, but we'll hover over that for a second so you can see what it actually does. Mandy will draw an Acolyte, which has to go to an empty location. We'll put that at the southern tower. Alright, so we have no copies of Nyarlathotep, but Mandy can activate 3 of the locations. So she'll go first. Action 1, she'll move down to the Great Hall. Action 2, she'll investigate up 4. That's a rune, that's a -4, so we do get the clue, which she's going to spend immediately for action 3 to reveal. Look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3. And we add any hidden keywords. Yikes. Okay, that's going to be fun. So we get 2 hidden cards. Restless Journey Lies. Fast action to discard and test agility 3. If you fail, place a doom on the agenda, which we will discard that as a fast action. We should have gotten a resource from Milan. So we'll discard that, test agility. She's at a 4 right now. I'm going to commit Eon Chart to go up 3, right? Yes, up 3. That's a -2, so we're all clear there. That's a discard to test combat. Let's not do that yet. That will do it for Mandy, though. Jacqueline for action 1. I don't want to just advance this round, so we're going to move action 1 to the Great Hall. Action 2 down to the Forsaken Tower, which will make friends with the Acolyte. Then we'll flip the Forsaken Tower over. Fight, choosing and revealing a copy of Nyarlathotep from your hand and fight it as if it were there. If you succeed, add that copy to the victory display. If you fail, he attacks and is shuffled in. Action 3, Jacqueline's going to... I forgot she had Deeper Slumber in her hand. Too late to worry about that now. As it was, she'd be discarding anyway. Twila will exhaust to keep a charge on Shriveling. aiming at the Acolyte, and we're going to throw her ability behind this. She's an 8 to 3 up 5, drawing 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. We'll cancel the Elder Sign and the 0, which will kill the Acolyte. And then Jacqueline will draw a card, and that's checked each time she draws. There's another Storm of Spirits, so hand size reduced by 3, which means I'm going down to 5 cards. So I'll discard a Cyclopean Hammer, an Enchanted Bow, a Spectral Razor. Actually, do we want the single target, or do we want AoE? I think we're at a point now where I'm probably okay ditching Storm of Spirits because I want AoE. Plus, we need clues as well. Let's see, so action 1 and 2 to move, action 3 to attack the Acolyte. Okay. We got that figured out, so we'll do upkeep. Jacqueline, actually, enemy phase, Jacqueline killed our aforementioned friend. So upkeep phase, Jacqueline will find her 4 of Cups, which is pretty much useless because I want that at start of round. +1 will, and when the game begins, if it's in my opening hand, put it into play. Mandy will also do upkeep, and she'll find another Eon chart. Her hand is not going to get decimated, though. Mythos phase puts our 4th Doom up. Jacqueline, for encounter card, draws. Another Deeper Slumber. Yikes. So her hand size is only... Her hand size right now, her maximum hand size right now is 3 cards. We're probably going to get rid of at least one of these. Mandy will draw. Another Law. Oh, joy. We can't commit odd, discard even to get rid of it as an action. Ah, fantastic. Okay, so Jacqueline will take 2 actions to discard one of her Deeper Slumbers. And then for action 3, she will investigate at even, and will put her ability behind it. And we'll fail that. I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. Let's see, so Mandy right now can activate... That's it for Jacqueline, by the way. Mandy right now can activate north, east, and west. Let's see. North is investigate, equal to this copy's printed health, which is a 4. I don't know. East is an evade using lore instead of agility, and I don't know what west is yet. Let's go... Actually, I think our first order of business should be discarding Strange Solution to get rid of this Law of Igoroth for action 1. That's action 1. That's... North is the investigate, and I think action 2, that's where we're going to go. Action 3, Mandy is going to... Mandy's going to use the action on the Forsaken Tower to choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep from the hand. My hand is getting a little bit sleepy, but not too bad. Action 3, Mandy will reveal this copy of Nyarlathotep to investigate at the location. She's up 3. And I will commit Empirical Hypothesis to go up 4. That's a +1, so Nyarlathotep gets added to the victory display. So that copy gets added to the victory display, and Whispering Chaos North goes away. We should be getting the other 2 copies of Nyarlathotep out of the encounter deck at any point now. So it was action 1 to discard the first Law, action 2 to move up, action 3 to use the location. Okay, so that will do it for Mandy. That will do it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, we've got no enemies out right now. We'll do upkeep. Jacqueline will find a Medicio della Peste, which is probably going to be played out very shortly. I will discard a Word of Command for that. Mandy will also do upkeep. And she'll draw Survey the Area. Ooh, that could be useful. We are advancing the agenda during the Mythos phase. The last dream. Yes. Read on, my puppet. This will be your last dream. Your final reprieve. Then I shall take the rest for myself. If it's Act 4, which it is, read the following. Place clues on each Forsaken Tower location until it has clues equal to its clue value. So the Forsaken Tower gets 2 clues. The Forsaken Tower of Infinite Truth gets 2 clues. This gets 2 clues as well. And the Forsaken Tower of Eternal Flame is already at 2 clues. Alright, reveal each copy of Nyarlathotep in each investigator's hand. Each investigator who did not reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep must either take 1 damage or 1 horror. For each copy of Nyarlathotep revealed by an investigator, that investigator must choose. We won't worry about that, because both of our investigators will be taking a damage and a horror. I'll put the horror on Twila for Jacqueline. Mandy will take it herself. And then we aren't revealing a copy of Nyarlathotep. So, Chaos Incarnate Agenda 3A. Hey, Shunta Nig, I am true chaos. Look not upon my shape, for it is ever changing. I commanded you to keep reading. Look not upon my face, for it is no face at all. I told you to stop running. Listen not for the truth is a lie. I warned you not to dream. Mine and mine alone. Nobody else can have it. I dared you not to fight. Run then, rabbit, run. There is nothing more. I cherish the chase. Nothing. 5 doomed to advance that. Delightful. Jacqueline will draw. Whispers of Hypnos, we're going to impair combat with that one. So this is... I don't even know what round we're on at this point. But I'll make a note in chat. Whispers of Hypnos. Combat. Just so I know that that one's been impaired. Mandy will draw. Somnophobia. Test Will 5. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror to a max of 3. For the purposes of counting icons committed to this test, lore, combat, and agility count as matching. Will and wildcard count as 2 matching. I think we're going to test... I don't want to test down 2. I think we're going to commit Eon Chart to that test. So that's going to be 4, 5, 7. Mandy's up 2. Skull is a -4, so Mandy has to take 2 horror. So Eon Chart's gone. Somnophobia is discarded. Okay. Jacqueline for actions 1 and 2 in the investigation phase will discard Deeper Slumber. Now we can exhaust the Arcane Initiate for a spell. Go away with Dark Future. Ugh. Nothing there we can take. We fail to find. Where are all of Jacqueline's investigates? Action 3, she will investigate at even, and I'll throw her ability behind it. Actually, yes. 1, 2, 3. We'll cancel both skulls, reveal the 0, and grab a clue. And that's it for Jacqueline. Mandy will investigate up 2. For action 1, skull is -4, so she fails. Action 3, she'll run that back. Skull again. And action 3, we'll shuffle the cast bag up and run that back again. That's a -3, so we still fail that. Wonderful. And no enemies, so we do upkeep. Drawn to the Flame is very welcome here. Mandy will draw. Psychosis, Joy. Going into her threat area. After we take 1 or more horror, take 1 direct damage. 2 actions to discard it. Mythos phase going up. Jacqueline finds Dreamer's Curse. Testing Will 5. For each point she fails by, take a damage up to a max of 3. This is basically the same thing Mandy had, except for damage. I'm not going to waste a Ward of Protection on this. I'm also not going to waste Jacqueline's ability on this because I want to go through the... I want to start going through the discard, through the deck this turn. But I will... I could go up by a lot, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I'll commit... You know what? Yeah, I will commit Occult Theory. So will equal to your lore. 3 lore and lore equal to will. So that's going to turn that into... Alright, so 3 will is going to bring that up to 11. 5 lore up to 16. She's up 11. Rune is a -4, which is not enough to fail that. Mandy will draw a Wizard of the Order. We'll put that over... Uh-oh. Jacqueline, I think, needs to go get rid of that. So that'll put a Doom in play at the end of the Mythos phase. Yikes. Okay, I wanted to try to get clues here, but now Jacqueline's got to go... Jacqueline's got to go deal with that Wizard of the Order. Action 1. Action 2 up to the Forsaken Tower, the Western Forsaken Tower. That's gone. Action 3 will exhaust Twila to keep a charge on Shriveling. I'll move that back. Alright, that's a 4. Jacqueline's an 8. She's up 4, and I'm going to throw her ability behind this. Jacqueline will have to cancel the Tentacle, but she will defeat the Wizard of the Order. And then we'll exhaust the Arcane Initiate to go 3 deep, looking for a spell. There's another Shriveling. Finally, a Clairvoyance, which is the spell I want right now. I'll plan on playing that out next round, assuming I have time. Mandy will go 2 actions to discard Psychosis. And then action 3, she will investigate up... Actually, she's at 5, 6, 7... She's up 2. That's a +1, so that will give Mandy one of the clues. We only have 12 cards left in the deck, so we should be getting near the copies of Nyarlathotep soon. Right. That'll be going away at the end of the round, but enemy phase. Jacqueline killed our only enemy in play, so we'll do upkeep. There's an emergency cache level 2, which will give her gain 3 resources and draw a card. Mandy's upkeep. It's going to be you handle this one. After you draw a non-peril encounter card, but before resolving its effects. Choose another investigator. That investigator is considered to have drawn that encounter card. Instead, gain a resource. Mythos phase, second Doom on the agenda. Jacqueline finds mysterious chanting, which forces a cultist out. Fantastic. We'll grab the... Actually, let's... There should be another Acolyte in the deck. Jacqueline is going to have to go kill that, though, this turn. Yes. We'll put that at the... We'll put that at the Great Hall, because we can spawn that at any empty location. Actually, we could cancel that, but I'm not going to worry about that. Mandy will draw Somnophobia. Jacqueline will... Can we take the horror? We can put horror on both Janae and Milan if we have to. So we'll just take the test. Mandy's starting down 2. Actually, she's going to play You Handle This One and give that to Jacqueline. Jacqueline is even on the test. And she can actually spread out sanity a little bit more. So actually, I think this one, Jacqueline, if I'm going to give it to Jacqueline anyway, I'm just going to ward that away. And Jacqueline will take a horror, which she'll take herself. Okay. Into the investigation phase, Jacqueline will start off with a... I think we drawn to the... Do we drawn to the flame? I think we drawn to the flame, move over, kill the Acolyte. So I think that's where we're going to go with. We'll play Drawn to the Flame for action 1. Well, that plan kind of blew up in my face. I forgot Jacqueline actually had a clue. So action 2, Jacqueline is going to exhaust Twilla to keep a charge on Shriveling, throwing her ability behind the attack at the Crawling Mist. She has no hidden cards in her hand right now. She's at a 3... At 8 to 3, she's up 5, drawing 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. Canceling the Skull and the Rune. We'll deal the Crawling Mist 3 damage. And then action 3. We'll run the attack back with a charge of Shriveling this time. Unfortunately, Jacqueline's only revealing 1 token. Up 5 still, though. Which that's a -3, so the Crawling Mist goes into the victory display. And that will do it for Jacqueline. Mandy will investigate, and I hate committing survey the area, but I think I have to here. So she gets lore equal. She gets lore equal to her agility, so she's at an 11 to 5. She's up 6. Skull is a -4. Yes, -4. So she still gets the clue, which she'll immediately spend the clue for action 2, gaining a resource, and we'll look at the top 3 of the deck for more copies of Nyarlathotep. Wonderful. Alright, so we discard the Law of Igoroth and pick up another copy of Nyarlathotep. This one is a 3/4/4 Peril Hidden Alert. Mandy can activate East and West using... Ooh. Okay, so that was action 1. Unfortunately, 2 is going to make friends with the Acolyte, but I think that's worth the risk. 3 will initiate a move action. She'll take an attack of opportunity, which will be a damage, but we will end up with the Acolyte over here. And then we'll do upkeep. Actually, Mandy will take another damage on upkeep on enemy phase, and now we'll do upkeep. And Jacqueline's got Dark Future. Wonderful. Mandy will draw Pantalone. Alright, that's a 1 cost to play. Lore, wildcard on commit. Limit 1 mask in play. Reaction after it enters play, draw 2 cards. When you initiate a non-lore test, discard Pantalone. Use lore for this test instead of the skill indicated. Mythos phase will put our 3rd Doom up on the play. We're at 4 because of the Acolyte. Jacqueline will draw a Dole of the Waste. Spawn in the Cold Wastes or the Great Hall. 6/6/2. Prey, lowest agility, so it's looking for Jacqueline. Hunter, victory 1. 2 damage and a sanity on the attack. Mandy will draw. Oh, fantastic. 3/7/3 Nyarlathotep Stalker Among the Stars. Peril Hidden Massive. Wonderful. Okay, so Jacqueline will exhaust the Arcane Initiate, going through the top 3 for a spell, which we don't find. Wunderbar. Alright, Jacqueline for action 1, she'll go first. She'll spend 2 resources to play Spectral Razor. She will make friends with the Acolyte, so Mandy can do her thing with the Crawling Chaos. She's at an 8 to 3. She's up 5. That's an Elder Sign, but remember, we can't cancel symbols because of Dark Future. So the Acolyte is defeated, which gets rid of the Doom, thankfully. Then for action 2, I really don't want Jacqueline to go make friends with this. I'll let it come to us, actually. So action 2, Jacqueline will draw a card. It's an Arcane Studies, which I'm not particularly happy to see. Action 3. We'll just go ahead and play it out. It's a resource dump, if nothing else. And then we'll use Jacqueline's ability on Dark Future. So we reveal 5, but we're actually revealing 7 random tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We would cancel 2 of the non-relevant tokens, but we want the Elder Sign, so we get the Elder Sign, and that's discarded. Dark Future is discarded, and that's it for Jacqueline. Mandy, since she can activate East, she's going to choose and reveal a copy of Nyarlathotep to evade. She's going to try to evade Stalker Among the Stars using, what is it, lore instead of agility. Alright, she's at a 7-3, up 4. Yep, up 4, she'll test there. -1 means we evade that, so Nyarlathotep, so second copy in the victory display. Action, and Whispering Chaos East is discarded. 3 left, so we should be finding our last copy of Nyarlathotep here. Let's see what we've got here. We get all the hidden cards, though. Wait. Oh! I'm an idiot. I've got the last copy in my hand already. So I just ended up with 3 hidden cards. Delightful. Okay, well, that's a problem. Can't play cards or trigger anything with hidden costs, so we're stuck with that in hand, and we've got Pandemonium there. Well, so we know, let's see, what was the, so we don't know what West is yet. We're going to have one shot at this, I think. Yeah, we're going to have exactly one shot at this. So action 1 was to spend the clues, and we actually shuffle the encounter deck immediately. So that was, so action 1 was to go through the top 3. Action 2 is going to be to draw a card, see if I can get rid of some of these laws, which I can't do. I'm going to be discarding at the end of turn, though. Action 3, I'll just take a resource. Dole of the Wastes will move in and make friends with Jacqueline on the enemy phase. She will take 2 damage and a sanity on the attack. We'll have to plan on passing damage around on the next turn. So now we'll do upkeep. Wonderful. Jacqueline's got Unspeakable Oath, Bloodthirst. When you deal damage to an enemy in excess of its remaining health, discard this card. Mandy will do her upkeep. Empirical Hypothesis. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll discard Empirical Hypothesis and Pantalone, since we can't discard our mess of hidden cards. 4th Doom on the agenda. Jacqueline will draw. Mysterious Chanting, which, that's not a cultist, so we would fish a cultist out of the deck. We'll just grab a regular Acolyte, because why not? And then we'll shuffle the encounter deck. And then Mandy. Actually, I think we got away with one because we drew Whispering Chaos East again. So we can activate the Eastern Tower again. Which still means we're going to get one shot at this. So, Mandy will go first. So she's going to take the action on the Forsaken Tower of Infinite Truth to evade, choosing and revealing a copy of Nyarlathotep as if it were at her location using lore instead of agility. So we're going to reveal Nyarlathotep, Messenger of the Outer Gods. So we're evading it as if it was at the location using lore instead of agility. Mandy, nothing here says she can't commit, right? You can't commit cards to skill tests with an odd number of words in the title. Eye of Truth is even, so we'll commit that for +4. Jacqueline will give her Medicio della Peste for another +1, and we'll put Jacqueline's ability behind this. So Mandy is drawing 3, since Jacqueline is at the location. She's able to commit and throwing her ability behind this. So Mandy right now is at a 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, to 5, or to 4 up 5, and we're revealing 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we'll cancel both skulls and reveal the Elder Sign. Searching for a card and either draw it or commit it to the test if we're able. We will take the... We'll take the hiking boots. Actually, yes. We'll shuffle those back in. Eye of Truth is discarded. The third copy of Nyarlathotep is added to the victory display. And at the act, if 1 plus 1 per copies of Nyarlathotep are in the victory display, we have 3 there, so we advance. Alright. Check the campaign log. If the black cat knows the truth and the investigators possess the silver key, which they don't, otherwise we proceed to R1. Once again, Phoenix Knight from the past, take it away.
Resolution 1. The presence taunting your mind retreats into the shadows, and you are left once again with an overwhelming sense of loneliness. The vast halls of the Onyx Castle are evidence of nothing but despair and sorrow. Whatever gods once inhabited this place left long ago. Coming here was indeed folly. You carry Virgil's corpse out into the snowy peaks of Kadath and bury him outside the castle. You still do not understand what the being known as Nyarlathotep wanted with him, or with you, but at least now you can leave the Dreamlands behind, if that is what you truly wish to do. In your campaign log, record the Dreamer's escape from Nyarlathotep's grasp. Each investigator earns experience equal to the Victory X value of each card in the victory display. Each investigator suffers 2 mental trauma from the battle between truth and fiction within their own dreams. The investigators must decide, choose one. Wake up, skip to Resolution 3. Remain on the surface of the Dreamlands, skip to Resolution 4. Venture into the underworld to find your companions. Choose this option only if the Dreamers know of another path in the campaign log. Skip to Resolution 5.
And we finished that with 1 doom to spare. So we're going to choose to remain on the surface of the Dreamlands for Resolution 4.
Resolution 4. You think about the many journeys you have had in the Dreamlands and the fabulous things you have seen. The mystical forests, the beautiful palaces, the cerulean oceans. Had you ever experienced such wonders in the waking world? Could you really return to such a mundane life after what you have experienced here? Perhaps it would be better to stay. You can escape from this dreaded land of Lang and travel back to safer climes. You can live in the timeless realm of Celiphaeus, where pleasures are abundant and you will never age. Or perhaps live amongst the cats in the pleasant town of Ulthar where your quest began. Or explore the boundaries of the Dreamlands and see all of the marvels that it has to offer. Your mind is made up. You cannot return to the waking world, for you never want to leave. In your campaign log, record the Dreamers stayed in the Dreamlands forever. If you are playing the Dream Quest as a 4-part campaign, the investigators win the campaign and are never seen or heard from in the waking world again. If you are playing the Dream Quest and the Web of Dreams as an interconnected 8-part campaign, and you have not yet played Scenario 4B, Weaver of the Cosmos, proceed to that scenario. And you have already played Scenario 4B, Weaver of the Cosmos, proceed instead to Epilogue.
That will actually do it for this playthrough of Arkham Horror, the card game. I wanted to do this as a test for potentially bringing streams of Arkham Horror, the card game, to the channel. So everything seemed to go pretty well with TTS, I will admit that. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this game turned out. You guys, if you've been following if you've stopped by my top 100 board games that I've done with Jester on his channel, you know that Arkham Horror, the card game, is my #1 game of all time. So I'm not going to bother singing the praises of Arkham Horror, the card game, because I'd be beating a dead horse at this point. Actually, I'd probably be channeling my inner necromancer, similar to the broiled fish that we made for Mystical Munchies earlier tonight, in beating that horse. So that will do it in this ramble for Arkham Horror, the card game. Still busy coming up on the channel. Tomorrow we're continuing the fall campaign in Astro Knights Eternity. Monday we're having the 1972 demo game as we get ready for the NFL replay and Momentum Football. and I'm sure there'll be another stream on Sunday afternoon in between all of that. Wednesday, we're playing Age of Innovation from Fureland Spiel, and Saturday, Mystical Munchies will finish out of the official Diablo cookbook with the dessert, Iris Plum and Honey Cake. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.